When my doctor looked at my lung scans last month, he couldn't believe what he was seeing. "These can be right," he said, flipping through the results with a puzzled expression. He ordered new tests, convinced there must have been a mix-up at the lab. But when the second set of results came back identical to the first, he just shook his head in disbelief. "I've been practicing medicine for over 30 years, he told me, and I've never seen lungs this healthy in someone your age. According to these scans, you have the lung capacity of someone in their early 30s. And I'm 96 years old. What surprised him even more was when I explained my secret, a breathing technique so simple that most people dismiss it as ineffective. No expensive equipment, no complicated exercises, just 1 minute a day of something so basic that it is almost embarrassing to share. But before I tell you what it is, you need to understand why breathing properly becomes so critical as we age, and why most seniors are unknowingly destroying their lung health every single day without realizing it. By the end of this video, you'll learn the 5 most common breathing mistakes that accelerate lung aging, and the embarrassingly simple 1-minute technique that reversed decades of damage for me. This is quite just about living longer. It's about staying strong, independent, and energetic well into your 90s and beyond. Stay with me until the end, because the final breathing mistake is something nearly every senior does while sleeping, and it could be silently damaging your brain, heart, and immune system without you even knowing it. If you're finding this information valuable so far, please take a moment to like this video and comment "Healthy Lungs" below. Your engagement helps us reach more people who could benefit from this information. Now let us get started with understanding why proper breathing becomes so crucial as we age. Most people don't realize that our lung function naturally declines as we age. After 35, we lose about 1% of our lung capacity every year. By the time most people reach their 70s, they've lost 30 to 40% of their breathing power. This isn't just about getting winded when climbing stairs, it affects everything. Your lungs are the gateway for oxygen, the fuel that powers every cell in your body. When lung function declines, less oxygen reaches your brain, heart, muscles, and immune system. This is why so many age-related problems, memory issues, heart disease, muscle weakness, and frequent infections are actually connected to poor breathing. Think about it like this. Your body is like a car, and oxygen is the fuel. No matter how good the engine is, if you're only getting half the fuel you need, you'll never run at full capacity. What is worse, modern lifestyles have us breathing all wrong, accelerating this decline. But before we get to the solution, let us look at the 5 most common breathing mistakes that are aging your lungs prematurely. Mistake 1. Shallow chest breathing. The first and most damaging breathing mistake that accelerates lung aging is shallow chest breathing. If you place your hand on your chest right now and take a breath, do you feel your chest rise more than your belly? If so, you are chest breathing, and it is hurting your lung health more than you realize. Shallow chest breathing only uses the upper third of your lungs, leaving the lower portions, where most of your air sacs are located, completely unused. Imagine only filling the top third of your gas tank each time and wondering why you keep running out of fuel. Margaret, a 72-year-old retired teacher, came to one of my workshops last year complaining of constant fatigue and shortness of breath. Like most people, she'd been chest breathing her entire life. When I pointed this out, she was surprised. She'd never even noticed it before. "I just breathe normally," she told me, but when we measured her oxygen levels, they were much lower than they should have been. Her normal was slowly suffocating her cells. Here is what happens. When you only breathe into your upper chest, you activate your sympathetic nervous system, your body's stress response. This raises cortisol levels, increases heart rate, and keeps you in a constant state of low-grade stress. Over time, this pattern damages the tiny air sacs in your lungs, reducing their elasticity and making it even harder to breathe deeply. The solution is simple: diaphragmatic breathing. Instead of lifting your chest when you inhale, allow your belly to expand outward like a balloon. This engages your diaphragm, the powerful muscle at the base of your lungs designed to pull air deep into the lower portions of your lungs where oxygen exchange is most efficient. Just this simple shift, breathing into your belly instead of your chest, can increase oxygen uptake by up to 30%. Margaret started practicing this for just 1 minute each day. Within 3 weeks, her energy levels had noticeably improved. After 3 months, her doctor found that her oxygen saturation had increased by 4%, a significant improvement that made her feel years younger. Mistake 2. Holding your breath without realizing it. The second breathing mistake that accelerates lung aging is unconsciously holding your breath throughout the day. This happens much more often than most people realize. Have you ever been concentrating on something? Maybe reading an important email, trying to hear someone in a noisy room, or even just thinking deeply, and suddenly realize you've been holding your breath. This is called email apnea or screen apnea, and studies show that over 80% of adults do this dozens of times throughout the day without noticing. Each time you hold your breath, even briefly, you are triggering a mini stress response in your body. Your heart rate increases, blood pressure rises, and stress hormones are released. Over time, this pattern trains your brain and body to associate breathing with stress, making it harder to maintain healthy breathing patterns. Take Robert, an 81-year-old retired accountant who came to me with complaints of high blood pressure that wouldn't respond to medication. When we observed his breathing patterns, we discovered he was unconsciously holding his breath for 10-15 seconds at a time whenever he used his computer, watched TV, or even just tried to remember something. These brief moments of breath holding were happening dozens of times per hour, keeping his body in a constant state of stress. His doctor had never mentioned breathing as a potential factor in his blood pressure issues. The solution to this pattern is breath awareness. Set a timer on your phone to go off every hour. When it does, simply notice your breathing. Are you holding your breath? Is it shallow or deep? This simple awareness practice can break the pattern of unconscious breath holding. Robert started using a small sticker on his watch as a reminder to check his breathing throughout the day. Within weeks, his blood pressure readings had improved significantly, and he reported feeling much calmer overall. So as to mistake 3, mouth breathing. The third breathing mistake that damages lung health as we age is breathing through your mouth instead of your nose. This seemingly innocent habit could be destroying your respiratory health without you realizing it. Your nose is designed to be your primary breathing apparatus for good reason. When you breathe through your nose, the air is filtered, warmed, humidified, and even sterilized before it reaches your lungs. Your nasal passages contain tiny hair-like structures and mucous membranes that catch dust, allergens, and pathogens. Even more importantly, nasal breathing produces nitric oxide, a molecule that improves oxygen absorption, dilates blood vessels, and has powerful antibacterial properties. When you bypass the nose and breathe through your mouth, you lose all these benefits. Elizabeth, a 78-year-old who suffered from frequent bronchitis and respiratory infections, discovered she had been mouth breathing for decades, especially at night. Like many seniors, she assumed her frequent illnesses were just part of getting older, something she had to accept. But once she began consciously breathing through her nose during the day and using a simple technique to promote nasal breathing at night, the frequency of her respiratory infections decreased dramatically. Within 6 months, she hadn't experienced a single episode of bronchitis, something that used to occur every few weeks. The solution is to constantly remind yourself, close your mouth, breathe through your nose. It feels unnatural at first if you've been mouth breathing for years, but with practice it becomes automatic. Even if you have nasal congestion, there are simple techniques to clear the passages and restore nasal breathing. If you were still watching and finding this information valuable, please comment nasal breathing below to let me know you re-hear. Your engagement helps this information reach more people who need it. Mistake 4. Over-breathing, breathing too much. The fourth breathing mistake that accelerates lung aging might surprise you. It is breathing too much. Yes, you read that correctly. Most people assume that taking big, deep breaths more frequently would be beneficial, but the science shows otherwise. Chronic over-breathing, taking too many breaths per minute or breathing more air than your body needs, can actually reduce oxygen delivery to your tissues through a phenomenon called the Bohr effect. When you breathe too much, you exhale too much carbon dioxide, which changes the pH of your blood and makes it harder for oxygen to release from hemoglobin and enter your cells. This is why hyperventilating makes you feel lightheaded. You have plenty of oxygen in your blood, but it's not getting to your brain because you've blown off too much carbon dioxide. William, an 85-year-old with chronic fatigue and dizziness, discovered he was chronically overbreathing, taking 18 to 20 breaths per minute when the optimal rate is 8 to 12. His doctor had never mentioned breathing rate as a potential factor in his symptoms. By slowing down his breathing to 10 breaths per minute, William experienced significant improvements in his energy levels and cognitive function. The dizziness that had plagued him for years largely disappeared within weeks. The solution is to practice slower breathing. Try to gradually decrease your breathing rate to about 10 breaths per minute. That S1 complete breath every 6 seconds. This optimizes the oxygen-carbon dioxide balance in your bloodstream, allowing for maximum oxygen delivery to your tissues. A simple way to practice this is to breathe in for a count of 4 and out for a count of 6. Just 1 minute of this pattern a few times a day can help reprogram your breathing center to maintain a healthier pace. Mistake 5. Sleep breathing disorders. The fifth and perhaps most dangerous breathing mistake occurs when you are not even awake, disordered breathing during sleep. This includes snoring, mouth breathing while sleeping, and sleep apnea. Sleep is when your body repairs and rejuvenates itself, and proper breathing during this time is crucial. Unfortunately, as we age, the muscles in our airways become less toned, making sleep breathing disorders increasingly common. Some studies suggest that over 70% of people above age 70 experience some form of disordered breathing during sleep. This isn't just about snoring or feeling tired, it is about serious health consequences. Each time your breathing is disrupted during sleep, your oxygen levels drop, triggering a stress response and inflammation throughout your body. Over time, this pattern is strongly linked to heart disease, stroke, dementia, and even cancer. Harold, a 90-year-old who appeared much younger than his age, told me that the turning point in his health came when he addressed his sleep breathing at age 75. Before that, he had been experiencing memory problems, high blood pressure, and low energy, all of which improved dramatically once he optimized his nighttime breathing. The solution varies depending on the specific issue, but it often includes sleeping on your side instead of your back, using properly designed pillows to support optimal airway positioning, avoiding alcohol and heavy meals before bedtime, which relax airway muscles, using specialized tape or devices to encourage nasal breathing during sleep. In some cases, working with a doctor on treatments for sleep apnea. For many people, simply becoming aware of their nighttime breathing patterns and making basic adjustments can lead to significant improvements in sleep quality and overall health. Now that we've covered the 5 most common breathing mistakes, let us talk about the embarrassingly simple technique that transformed my lung health and has helped thousands of others restore youthful breathing capacity, even in their 90s. I call it the 4-7-8 reset, and it takes just 1 minute per day. It is so simple that most people dismiss it, but the physiological effects are profound. Here is how it works. 1. Sit comfortably with your back straight. 2. Place the tip of your tongue against the ridge behind your upper front teeth. 3. Exhale completely through your mouth with a whooshing sound. 4. Close your mouth and inhale quietly through your nose for a count of 4, 5. Hold your breath for a count of 7, 6. Exhale completely through your mouth with a whooshing sound for a count of 8, 7. Repeat this cycle 4 times. That is it. 1 minute, once a day. What makes this technique so powerful is that it combines all the elements needed to reset dysfunctional breathing patterns. The 4-second inhale ensures you are rebreathing deeply into your diaphragm. The 7-second hold allows for optimal gas exchange in the lungs and trains your body to tolerate healthy carbon dioxide levels. The 8-second exhale activates your parasympathetic nervous system, reducing stress and inflammation. The tongue position connects to ancient breathing practices that stimulate vagal tone. The repetition helps reprogram your brain's breathing center. When I first learned this technique at age 92, I was skeptical. It seemed too simple to make any real difference. But my pulmonologist had just given me troubling news about my declining lung function, so I was willing to try anything. I committed to practicing this 1-minute technique every morning after brushing my teeth. Within 2 weeks, I noticed I wasn't getting as winded climbing the stairs in my home. After a month, my sleep had improved dramatically. And after 3 months, when I returned for follow-up testing, my doctor was astonished by the improvement in my lung function. The most remarkable change came after a full year of this daily practice. My lung capacity had increased by nearly 30%, something my doctor said he had never seen in a patient my age. The scans showed that areas of my lungs that had been underutilized for decades were now fully functioning again. What makes this technique different from other breathing exercises is its simplicity and the specific ratio of inhale, hold, exhale, which has been scientifically shown to optimize gas exchange and nervous system function. The specific tongue position also connects to ancient breathing practices that stimulate the vagus nerve, reducing inflammation throughout the body. The beauty of this technique is that it requires no special equipment, no significant time commitment, and can be done anywhere, sitting in your chair, lying in bed, or even while waiting for your coffee to brew. The key is consistency, 1 minute per day, every day. I recommend tying it to an existing habit, something you already do daily, to make it easier to remember. For me, it was right after brushing my teeth each morning. You might do it when you first wake up, before getting out of bed, right after lunch, while waiting for the kettle to boil, before turning on the TV in the evening, just before going to sleep. If you want enhanced results, you can do an additional minute in the afternoon or evening, but even just 1 minute per day can create significant improvements over time. Remember, this isn't tea about forcing your breathing or straining in any way. The movements should be gentle and comfortable. If you feel lightheaded at first, simply reduce the count or take a break. Your breathing capacity will gradually increase with practice. While individual results vary, here is what you might experience by incorporating this simple technique into your daily routine. Within 1 to 2 weeks, improved energy levels throughout the day, less shortness of breath with normal activities, better sleep quality, reduced anxiety and stress levels. Within 1-2 months, significantly improved endurance for daily activities, reduced brain fog and better mental clarity, fewer respiratory infections, improved digestion and regularity. Within 3 to 6 months, measurable improvements in lung function tests, reduced inflammation markers in blood tests, better management of chronic conditions like hypertension, improved immune function beyond 6 months, possible regeneration of underutilized lung tissue, significant improvements in overall health markers, enhanced capacity to heal and recover, potentially adding quality years to your life. Martha, an 88-year-old who started this practice after hearing me speak about it, told me that after 6 months, her doctor reduced 3 of her medications because her body was functioning so much better. "So I wish I had known about this decades ago," she said. "It would have saved me years of unnecessary suffering." If you were still watching and finding this information valuable, please comment "Breathing Reset" below. Your engagement helps us reach more people who could benefit from this simple technique. Many people ask me questions about this technique, so let me address the most common ones. Is this safe for everyone? Yes, this gentle breathing pattern is safe for virtually everyone. However, if you have any serious medical conditions, it is always wise to check with your healthcare provider before starting any new health practice. What if I can hold my breath for 7 seconds? Start with whatever count is comfortable for you. Even a 2-3-4 pattern, inhale for 2, hold for 3, exhale for 4, will be beneficial. Gradually increase the counts as your capacity improves. How long until I see results? Most people notice subtle improvements within days, often sleeping better or feeling calmer. More significant changes to lung function typically become noticeable within 3 to 4 weeks of daily practice. Can this help with my specific condition? Improved breathing benefits every system in your body. People have reported improvements with conditions ranging from hypertension and diabetes to arthritis and cognitive decline. The mechanism is simple: better oxygen delivery to tissues and reduced inflammation throughout the body. Why don't tea doctors recommend this? Unfortunately, breathing is rarely addressed in medical training. Most physicians receive less than 1 hour of education on breathing mechanics during their entire medical education. This is slowly changing as research continues to demonstrate the profound impact of breathing patterns on health. As I approach my 97th birthday, I'm more convinced than ever that how we breathe is one of the most underappreciated factors in how we age. The difference between someone who struggles with daily activities in their 70s and someone who thrives independently in their 90s often comes down to how efficiently their body uses oxygen. What amazes me most is how something so simple, breathing, can have such profound effects when done correctly. We breathe over 20,000 times per day, and each breath is either reinforcing healthy patterns or contributing to dysfunction. The 1-minute technique I've shared today isn't a miracle cure or a quick fix. It acts as a tool that helps restore what should have been natural all along. It gives your body the chance to remember how it was designed to function before modern lifestyles, stress, and habits disrupted our natural breathing patterns. I often wonder how different my life might have been if I had discovered this in my 50s or 60s instead of my 90s. How much more energy would I have had? How many health issues might I have avoided? While I can go back in time, I can share this information with you, hoping it might change your trajectory. The beauty of the human body is its remarkable ability to heal and regenerate when given the right conditions. Even after decades of suboptimal breathing, your lungs can regain function. Your tissues can receive more oxygen. Your nervous system can find balance again. All it takes is 1 minute a day and the willingness to try something embarrassingly simple. Thank you for staying with me until the end of this video. If you found this information valuable, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share this with someone you care about who might benefit from improved breathing. I'd love to hear your experiences if you try this technique. Please leave a comment below sharing your results or any questions you might have. Remember, it is never too late to improve your health. I started at 92 and it changed my life. Imagine what it could do for you. Until next time, breathe well and live fully.